So today, we are going to talk about what might just be the most valuable skill in our entire economy: deep work. We're going to pull from Cal Newport's incredible research to break down how you can actually thrive in a world that is just constantly fighting for your attention.
I mean, have you ever really thought about this? We all get the same 24 hours. So what's the deal? It's definitely not just about raw talent or, just working longer hours. Turns out the most accomplished people throughout history had a secret weapon, this uncanny ability to just tune out all the noise and focus with an intensity that, let's be honest, feels almost impossible to achieve today.
So, what even is this skill? Well, it's actually easier to understand if we first look at what it's not. Over on the right, you've got shallow work. This is all the busy work, right? The logistical stuff, checking emails, sitting in routine meetings. It feels like you're being productive, but it's not really creating much new value. But on the left, now that is deep work. These are the cognitively demanding tasks that really push your brain to its limits, create something new and valuable, and are super hard for someone else to just swoop in and replicate.
And well, this brings us to the core problem we're all facing. We are living deep in the age of shallow work. Our workdays are just shattered into 1,000 tiny little pieces by emails, by notifications, endless meetings, all of which makes that true deep concentration a really rare thing.
So here's Newport's official definition. And listen, there are two phrases here that are just absolutely critical: distraction-free concentration and pushing your cognitive limits. This isn't just about focusing. It's about focusing on things that are hard. That's the zone. That's where the magic happens, where real value gets created and where you actually forge new skills.
And this, right here, perfectly captures the main idea. Because true deep work is so rare these days, being able to do it consistently isn't just some nice habit to have. Nope. In our modern economy, it is a legitimate superpower. It's what will set you apart from everyone else.
Okay, so we get what it is, but why is it so incredibly powerful? Let's get into the science of it, because this stuff will literally change your brain.
Okay, so the secret sauce here is a substance in your brain called myelin. Here's how it works. Every single time you practice a skill with intense, focused, uninterrupted concentration, your brain starts wrapping the neural circuits related to that skill in this fatty tissue. It's literally the biological process of getting better at something. More focus means more myelin, plain and simple.
And a really great way to picture this is to think about an electrical wire. The myelin is like the rubber insulation around that wire. The thicker you make that insulation, the faster and cleaner the signal can travel without any interference. So deep work is basically the workout you do to build up that insulation around the skills you want to master.
Now here's the villain in our story. This is the thing that sabotages that whole process. It's called attention residue. So when you quickly switch from, say, writing an important report to just checking a quick email, your brain doesn't make a clean break. A little piece of your focus, a residue, gets left behind, still thinking about the report. That means you can't give that email your full attention. And when you switch back, well, you get the idea.
Yeah, as business professor Sophie Leroy points out, even that super quick glance at your phone totally fragments your focus. Every single peak creates that attention residue we just talked about. These tiny, constant shifts in focus create this state of perpetual semi-distraction, making it almost impossible to build that myelin and do your best work.
But you know what? The benefits here aren't just professional. Far from it. Psychologists have found that people report being at their happiest, not when they're relaxing on the couch, but when they're totally absorbed in a challenging task. It's that state we call flow, and deep work is one of the most reliable ways to get there. So here's the real takeaway. Deep work doesn't just make you more productive, it can actually make you happier.
All right, so we're sold. We get the what, we get the why, but how in the world do you actually fit this into a modern, busy life? Well, Newport says there's no one-size-fits-all answer. You've got to find your own philosophy.
He lays out 4 main ways to do this. First up is the monastic philosophy. This is the most extreme one. You basically try to eliminate shallow work almost completely, kind of like a novelist who goes to live in a cabin in the woods. Then there's the bimodal approach. Here, you split your time into really clear chunks. Maybe you spend a few days in a focused retreat doing deep work, and then you come back to your regular life. The rhythmic approach is probably the best fit for most people with a 9-to-5 job. This is all about making deep work a simple, regular habit, like blocking off the first 90 minutes of every single day for your most important task. And finally, you have the journalistic approach, which is for the advanced folks. This is where you can switch into deep work mode at a moment's notice whenever a free hour just pops up in your schedule.
But look, no matter which philosophy you pick, your success depends on one thing: your ability to focus.
And you got to think of your attention like a muscle. And for most of us, that muscle needs some serious training. We have to actively fight back against all the distractions.
So what's the secret? It's about learning to embrace boredom. I know, it sounds weird, right? But our brains have been totally rewired by our phones to expect constant entertainment. We have to break that addiction. So how do we do it? Well, Newport has a pretty radical idea.
He calls it the 30-day digital cleanse. It's simple. Step 1, you just stop using any social media that isn't essential to your life or work. Don't make a big deal about it, just log out. For the next 30 days, just pay attention. See how you feel. Then at the end of the month, you evaluate each service with 2 brutally honest questions. 1, was my life significantly better without it? And 2, did anyone important in my life even care that I was gone? If the answer to both of those is a no, you have a really compelling reason to just quit for good.
So, training your focus muscle is step 1. Step 2 is about turning deep work into a real, consistent, and protected habit, and you do that with a powerful ritual.
At the end of every workday, you need to perform a shutdown ritual. It goes like this. Quickly review what you did, make a quick plan for tomorrow, and then, this is important, get every single unfinished thought, every worry, every to-do, out of your head and onto a piece of paper. Then comes the final step. You say a specific phrase out loud, something like shutdown complete. Now, I know it might feel a little silly, but it works. It's a powerful trigger that gives your brain clear permission to completely disengage from work. This simple little habit stops that attention residue from ruining your evening and lets you truly, truly rest.
Because at the end of the day, this is what it all boils down to. The real problem for most of us isn't a lack of time, it's a lack of focus time.
Your best work, your most creative ideas, the stuff that will actually make a difference, it's all waiting for you in those moments of deep, uninterrupted concentration. The only question is, are you ready to go find them?